So your home is a mess, and even though you're able to tidy up, you keep having this cycle that you keep finding clutter everywhere. So how do you stop it at the source? How do you stop bringing in items that will become clutter tomorrow? That's what we're going to talk about in this video, so stay tuned. Hey winning fam, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new here, my name is Jumoke Win. I am a first-gen homemaker, mommy to two winners, and on this channel we help you to create a luxurious home one intentional decision at a time. And if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure that you do subscribe and you like and you leave a comment so that we can, get to know each other. Okay, so let's talk about this because this is really important, y'all. This is really important. A lot of us, we have messy spaces, and even though we're looking at the clutter, it's not just the clutter. It is what happened before the clutter got there, because a motto that you need to drill into your mind is that items cannot enter your home without your consent. Hello, can we say that again? Items cannot enter your home without your consent. Hello. Okay, so how do we decide what items get brought into our home and what stays at the door? Okay, what stays at the door? What doesn't even come into our home because we know it's going to cause clutter later. Now, the question is not necessarily, do I need this? Because I think that's what a lot of organizational influencers, they say, like, oh, just think about, do you need this? Do you love this? It's always, do you need this or do you love this? But I think that you can always find an excuse for anything that you bring into your home. Oh, yeah, I need this. I'm probably going to need this later, right? How many of us have said that about some item and later never comes? It's just collecting dust. It's just creating clutter, visual clutter. It's causing overwhelm. So that's not the measure that we need to use, because it's not necessarily, do I need this? You can make anything fit into that category. But these are three questions that I ask myself to determine whether or not I bring home an item. These are deeper questions that they hit a deeper spot and they get to the root of that clutter. Okay, so the first question that I ask myself when it comes to deciding what to bring into my home, you're gonna laugh at me, but the question is this going to piss me off later? Is this going to frustrate me? Because sometimes I think when it comes to the future us, we're not kind to her. We are really mean to the future us. I said this in a reel on Instagram or social media, and I said, why are you going to create a mess and you're assuming that the future you wants to deal with your mess? Doing that to her, right? Like, why are you leaving stuff out? Why are you leaving the place a mess, leaving dishes, leaving clutter everywhere, and you're assuming that the future you is just going to have the motivation, is going to be like, wow, I just really want to clean up my past mess. Come on now. Come on. So it's the same thing with items. I need you to think about yourself 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now. Think about this item that you're bringing into your home and really think, the future you, are they going to be annoyed with you today? Are they going to be like, wow, I cannot believe she brought this into this home, right? For me to sit here and figure out later, why did she bring this into the home? Really, you have to start thinking like that. Like, you know what? If I bring this into my home, even though, it seems okay today, is the future me going to be annoyed because it's just one more thing to clean up? It's one more piece of visual clutter. It's not bringing me joy. It's just collecting dust and just stuff. Now I have to sort, now I have to sort through all this stuff. Think about that. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, does this align with the person I'm becoming? Too many people are constantly trying to clean and organize their home without being a clean and organized person. Let me say that again. You ain't catch it. Too many people, hello, are trying to constantly clean and organize their home without being a clean and organized person. Too many people are always focused on what do I do and not who do I need to become that naturally always gets this outcome. So if clutter and mess and dirtiness, all these things are really frustrating you and overwhelming you in your space, the question is not necessarily what can I do today to just temporarily solve this problem, but it's how do I become that type of person that already has those habits, that already has this type of space. So I want you to start thinking about your ideal home, right? Think about your ideal home. You can get inspiration from social media, from Pinterest, from Instagram, from TikTok, wherever. And you're looking at these spaces that are so beautiful, so, just everything is so beautiful. They have the design, they have the function, they have the cleanliness, and it's just wow. You know that if you were to live in that space, you would feel so at peace, right? You will feel at peace. You're like, wow, I would love to live in a space like that. Now, I really want you to backtrack and stop thinking about the space so much, but think about the person who curated that space and is maintaining that space. That's what you have to focus on, not just the space itself. The space itself is just a snapshot, it's just a highlight reel. But if you want to constantly have that type of space, you have to now curate that identity. So you have to now think about what type of skills do I need? What what habits do I need to form so I have that identity? But going back to the original question, does this align with the person I am and I'm becoming? So don't bring in things into your home that is not connecting with you, that don't make you happy, that you know that if you were your ideal self, you would not buy something like this. And I know for a lot of people that's hard to do because a lot of people are so tied to the budget and the space. Oh, I don't have enough money for that. Oh, my house is not big enough. I live in a small apartment. I can't do this. I can't. And it's like for every solution, you're finding problems. The purpose is not to wait until you get a big budget. It is to practice those things where you are today. So, as you guys know, we live in an apartment. I've lived in different spaces. I've even just had one bedroom that was to myself. That was the only thing that was to myself. And I still invested in my space because, again, it's not about the budget, it's about the person. What type of person has that space? Because I guarantee you, the people that you're watching on social media who have these beautiful spaces, clean spaces, I guarantee you that even if they were to downsize and to live in a small apartment and have a smaller budget, they would still think the same. Now, it's not going to look exactly the same as what they have with a bigger space and a bigger budget, but they're still going to live by certain principles. And those are the principles that you need to focus on. Not necessarily, oh, I don't have any money. No, 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 no. What we do is that we curate for where we are at. If all you can do in this season is just buy stuff from Temu, okay, is buy things secondhand, or is even just to wait and practice patience and to wait until you get certain things so that you can have what you really want in your space, then that's what you do because that's what that type of person would do in your situation. Or right, and if you wanted to be a certain type of person, that's what they would do if they were you. So when it comes to the design of your home, don't just bring in anything because it was cheap that you found at the Dollar Tree. It's okay, you found the Dollar Tree, but it's not really what future you would do. Okay, how about we just wait a little bit or even just look around? Let me see. Let me not just focus on my budget, but let me focus on what do I want? How do I want my space to function? Even when it comes to the cleanliness, how do you want your home to smell? How do you want, your home to really be fresh? So you have to start thinking about those things and try to do it where you're at and not just focus on the space and the budget. And the last question I ask myself before I bring anything into my home is, do I have a home for this? Notice I didn't say, do I have space for this? No, 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 no. Because you can always find space. Even my mom, one of her mottos was create space. So whether it was in the fridge or somewhere, if we needed extra space, she would just say create space. So you had to just essentially move clutter around to bring in more clutter, right? Instead of living within a certain limitation. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to first have limitations. If your closet can only hold a certain amount of clothes, I'm sorry, mom, you don't live in a big mansion. You're going to have to work within that closet and only keep what your closet can hold in an organized fashion. And that's not just throwing everything in there and it's like, okay, as long as I can fill it all the way to the top with stuff, I have more space that I can just throw in a bag there if I buy a bag. No, we don't want to do that. We want to first have organizational solutions for the things that we own. So we need a home. We need permanent homes for our things. The reason why you have a lot of clutter is just unhappy items in your home. It's like foster kids. Like they're just moving from place to place until they find their forever home. But you want to have that item adopted right into your home. Find it a permanent home, not a relative home, not a temporary home, not on top of your countertop, not on top of the dining room, not on the floor, not in a closet without any type of organization. You want to have a home for it. And I get it. Organization costs money, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about that. However, there are ways to get around it with where you're at. If you're someone who just needs organizational solutions like today, then you can go to the Dollar Tree. You can go to Walmart, right? There's things that you can do. And again, you're going to have to invest a little bit, but you can do something even with a smaller budget. It might take some months, but you want to make sure that you have homes for your stuff. Even if it gets to the point that you really don't have any money, you can use the boxes, like your Amazon boxes that you that you get. You can use them and repurpose them. Now, I wouldn't do that because I prefer like my organizational solutions to be aesthetic as well as functional. I understand that everyone doesn't have that budget. So if you have a smaller budget than me, and really my budget is small too, but I am a homemaker, so I have the time and the energy to do these things. But I understand everyone doesn't, to go online and search and do all those things. You just need an organizational solution today. You can do something like that. But when you bring something into your home, do you have a home for it? Not do you have space for it? Do you have a permanent home for this? So when you bring something into your home, you got to ask these 3 questions. One, am I going to be pissed off later? If I bring this into my home, is it in a few months, is it just going to be floating somewhere, right? Somewhere random, unhomed, unhoused, just, a tiny little foster item. Is it just gonna annoy me later? Is it gonna add more clutter and then I have to dust it, I have to maintain it, and I really just don't want to do all that? Okay, that's the first question we have to ask. The second question is, does this align with who I'm becoming? You don't buy like plastic Tupperware and just stuff. Like, don't buy stuff just because it's on sale if it's not aligning with the woman that you're becoming. If you want to become, for example, a more refined woman, if you want to be a more intentional woman, don't just get stuff just to get stuff. Like you have to really think about this. And the last question that you have to ask is, do I have a home for it? Now, do I have a space? Do I currently have a home for it that I know, okay, I put this in the bathroom. It's already in this storage cube in the bathroom for these types of items. I know exactly where this type of item will go in my home. Then don't bring it. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And please do subscribe because I am trying to get monetized. So make sure that you do subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.